Shalom, Yasharallah. This is your brother Dawudah from GMS St. Petersburg, Florida, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Archak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for Yakim pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here quick lesson. First and foremost, before I say that, I am testing out a new recording program to record this lesson on. So, Salakia for any anything that may go wrong with this here recording. Trying to fix my recording issue, but nevertheless, getting into this here scripture dealing with the current events and things that's going on today. Now we entering into a time phase where the men of the Lord are being introduced into the world on the world stage. We've been so-called, I could say, on the street level, on the highways and the byways, and putting up these videos where, if you wanted to, on the highways and the byways, if you wanted to stop by and figure out, what was going on, you had, that choice. You seen videos on the internet, what I'm saying? You could click on it if you wanted to, but now we at that time, again, we was introduced on the street level, but now we being introduced to the world on a so-called national level. All right. As you see with the news, how they demonizing us and well, before they demonize us, they, again, they're trying to take this, this narrative, all right, as it's spinning out of control for them, all right, because why? They're being exposed, all right? Let me grab a precept real fast. So Obadiah 1:6, it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Okay, so these things are being sought out and sought up, searched out and sought up because of why? The men of the Lord, all right, are on the highways and the byways and on YouTube exposing them, all right? The Lord is revealed unto us all their wickedness, their own tongue is falling upon themselves. So all of a sudden now they have, because beforehand they had this thing known as the so-called Illuminati or secret societies, where the principle of those things was hidden. People didn't really know about these things. These was so-called hidden in plain sight. People didn't know about these different handshakes and symbols and signs and things like that. And on the left hand side, as you see, everybody nowadays know about the so-called Illuminati. That's out in the forefront now. It's not a so-called secretive thing no more. All right, it's on a world stage now. They having massive rituals and ceremonies on live TV nowadays. Where people are openly talking about it. Same with the men of the Lord. We're not so-called secret society no more. Whereas you just see us on the videos and the highways and the byways and things like that. Now they airing us on the news. All right, because why? These things of Esau are being sought out. He's being exposed. So now the Edomites have to take the the narrative and hijack the narrative and put it back into their perspective. All right, because why? Our people are actually not just our people, but the whole world is listening to what we saying, and they they putting two and two together. Well, they saying it, and we can see it. It's not just because they saying it, but we can see it. It's like if you in a house and all of a sudden you just like, damn, I'm over here sweating. I don't know why I'm sweating. And then somebody else come in the house and be like, damn, why is the heat up so high? And then the third person is like, well, shit, maybe the heat is up and, the heat is on and it's up high, because I can see one person sweating. And then another person just walked in and say, why y'all got the heater on so high? You could put two and two together. And that's exactly what's going on. We out here telling you, people out here like, yo, why the heat is on, why is all these calamities going on? Why is, chemtrails and so on and so forth, all this crazy shit popping off. All right. But then at the same time, you have the men of the Lord out there walking in the room saying, yo, why is the heat on? Why are these Edomites doing all these so-called, or why are these so-called white men who are the Edomites doing all these crazy things? They the damn devil, So, we out here exposing them. But now, the so-called white man, which is, according to the scriptures, Esau, Edom, is trying to take this here narrative and flip it around. Oh, shit. The Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, they're, they're raising up the people. They're getting the people hip to our game. They exposing our shadiness and all the, the things that they doing. All right. So what? They have to take the narrative and hijack it, because a lot of people are asking, who are the Israelites? Have you seen the Israelites? Man, you seen the Israelite video? So now when people go and they search up Israelites, they want to be able to control the narrative, because we've already flooded the airwaves. All right. And that's one of Esau's main tools is the media. All right. In order for him to take over this whole damn world, that was one of his main things that he had to do, was take over the media. All right. Before the money and everything else, one of the number one resource on the planet Earth is the human resource. All right. So he don't need the money. He don't need none of that shit. Gold, none of that. If he can, first and foremost, if he can control your mind, All right. He can get you to believe that rocks or sand is money, i.e., we have fiat currency here today. And with that money, he can control all that and make you believe you want this and believe you want that and have you plow the whole earth for all the real resources in exchange for paper money, which he's inflating and deflating and changing the money on. All right. So, you know what I'm saying? That, again, the number one resource is the human resource. So Esau Edom is like, wait a minute, the people, we're losing that resource. We're losing that mind control over the people, because right now we have the narrative where, you know, America's right. Everybody's sipping that Babylon juice and everything is good in their eyes. But now, you know, we talking about certain things like the LGBT community. That lifestyle is not productive or anything like that. It's against the scriptures for one, but it's not productive. Then they talking about, you know, scientifically how they having all these suicides for them. The rates are going up. We're like, yo, we telling you. Now people are putting two and two together. So now the cat is coming out the bag. Wait a minute, this Babylon juice ain't no good for us. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that y'all been telling us is only bringing us death and destruction. These men is telling us the truth over here because we seeing the things that's happening in our life. All right. But nevertheless, you have some people who don't want that to happen because they losing control or they're losing their so-called comfort zone. So therefore, they're going to fight against the system. This is why we becoming their enemies. All right. So we're going to jump into this here lesson dealing with all these things here. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 28. I'm going to start at verse 8. This is Jeremiah 28:8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophets which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophets be known that Yahweh have truly sent. Okay. So again, you have, let me read verse 9 again. The prophets which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophets be known that Yahweh have truly sent them. All right. So let's go back up to verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me, and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms and of war and of evil and of pestilence. So going into the word prophet, all right. Well, let's go into the word prophesied, right? To prophesy means to say before. All right. Now, if you don't want to say before, if you the one to speak in that, you would be the prophet, right? All right. So it's like a fortune teller. All right. What does a fortune teller do? They tell someone's so-called fortune, right? So these people are saying beforehand what's coming to pass, and where are they getting these here words from? They're getting these here words from the Most High, Yahweh, who declared the end from the beginning. All right. So going back into verse 8, it says, the prophets have been before me and before thee of old, prophesied both against many countries, all right, and against many great kingdoms. All right. So they're not prophesying for these countries and these kingdoms for prosperity and longevity. God bless America. Long live the queen, you know, and whatever, whatnot. The prophets never did any of these things. You know, you go back to when you had Moses, right? Moses came up in Egypt. All right. Let my people go. Then he prophesied against Egypt. Then they had the plagues. All right. All the plagues of Egypt. All right. You go into Babylon. Now, Babylon, you had quite a bit of prophets in Babylon, you know. Then from Babylon, you had the Medo-Persian Empire. All right. From the Medo-Persian Empire, same when you go into Greece and Rome, all the way up until today. All right. But nevertheless, these people wasn't prophesying. You know, Moses wasn't saying, oh, long live Egypt. You know, Egypt gonna go into, you know, the sun ain't gonna never set on Egypt. Same with Daniel, you know what I'm saying, and Babylon. All right. You know what I'm saying? And how do I say, what they say, the handwriting on the wall. All right. For in this day, your kingdom is taken, more or less to say, roughly paraphrasing. All right. That wasn't say, OK, in this day, your kingdom won't go on forever. No, it was, hey, today, this is the end of your kingdom. All right. But nevertheless, the prophets, all right, their job was basically to bring in the so-called bad news. All right. Just like, you know, somewhat like the weather forecaster or shit, the people that come by your house and put that eviction notice on your door. All right. They not the ones that's so-called, they're not the problem. You know, they just doing the job. They delivering a message. Hey, man, we got called from this here agency saying you was delinquent on your payments. They about to foreclose on your spot. You know what I'm saying? And now they calling us up to go out here and send this here message to you to let you know what's about to befall you. All right. But then now you want to come out your house and cuss us out because we delivering you the eviction notice. Like, yo, bro, We not your bank, your loan office, none of that. We not up with your finances. We don't know who you dealing with, when you made your last payments, none of your situations, bro. We just delivering a message. All right. You want to do so, you want to take that up with somebody, take that up with the person you made the contract with. All right. Which is the Most High. You want to be mad with somebody like, yo, man, this is what you got to do. All right. You the one who drove your kingdom into the damn pits. All right. Let me go from there to book in the Apocrypha, the Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach. All right, chapter 36. I'm gonna go to verse 11. It says, gather all the tribes of Israel together and inherit them as from the beginning. All right. And so that's actually the time frame that we in now. All right. The minute the Lord, the Most High, has got the prophets out there. All right. Raising up and fishing out the elect, raising up more prophets. All right. It says, gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit them as from the beginning. All right. And so we out there, what, fishing, bringing back the tribes, putting them back, putting those two sticks back together. Verse 12. O Yahweh, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, who thou hast named thy firstborn. Be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. All right. The point here I wanted to grab was, fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. All right. And reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. So these prophets, the scriptures say, let them be found faithful. All right. And then it also says, give testimony. All right. Or give this here, long story short, Revelation 5. All right. I did a couple lessons on this. You can go to Daniel chapter, what is that? Daniel chapter 12, I believe it is 12 and, like 18 or something like that, where it says, seal up these words, seal up the words of the book to the end. All right. Then when you go to, fast forward in time and history to the book of Revelation chapter 5. All right. Nobody was able to loose those seals. All right. Except for Yahushua. All right. Then when you go to Revelation 14. All right. It goes into the 144,000. All right. Which you can pair that with Ezekiel 9:4 to get that mark of the Most High on their forehead. All right. Pair that with Revelation 7 to see who that 144,000 is that got that mark. Then you can go to Revelation 14. And it says that 144,000 was with Yahushua, and they sang a song that no man could know, no man could learn. All right. That's talking about this here breakdown. The Lord is giving his elect, the prophets. All right. That testimony. All right. The truth, the true understanding, 100% breakdown of these here scriptures and all these parables and all these dark sayings. All right. What was the point of the Most High, so-called, writing this here cryptic book where everything is all encoded and everything like that, and then to go through the whole time frame that he would have set up for this book to be out here, all right, and never decode the book? Because let's face the facts. When we go into the kingdom of heaven, we're not gonna have the Bible, all right. We're not gonna be walking around with no book like that, reading in the Bible. Like the scriptures say, he's gonna write the laws and statutes inside of us. The commandments, they're gonna be all written inside of us, all right. So right now we're basically in a time frame of so-called rehearsing these things now, because of why we had, like I said, the Most High done decoded this here book for a certain reason. All right. To give us a message in the end time to wake us back up. All right. This is the whole process that we in now. All right. So now the message is being decoded for this here time being to do what? It says, verse 14, Ecclesiasticus 36 and 14, fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Give testimony, or this here breakdown, unto those thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. All right. And reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. All right. And so, basically that's the, how do I say, that, not to say that's one of the reasons. Well, that is one of the reasons the scriptures is still left down here. All right. To raise the prophets back up and to decipher all this here madness, because we living in the time of darkness, yea, gross darkness. But what? This here is going to be a light in that darkness. All right. The light shining in the darkness comprehended it not. All right. Let me go back to check my timing real fast. All right. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 9. It says, well, let me go to verse 3. Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us when these things when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world? So he's talking about the end of the world, all right? And we know, again, according to, let me just grab that real fast. Daniel 12:4, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. All right, so the knowledge is going to be wind up being increased. In the end, let me read this as well. Daniel 12:9, and he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. All right, so these words are going to be sealed to the time to the end. But what? Many going to be run to and fro and be purified. All right, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and trod, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So yeah, this is why we're getting a lot of this here flack, because why? The Most High has raised up his prophets, all right, in this here time to basically bring light in that gross darkness, all right, lead a path unto the elect, for the elect to be saved, all right. But what? You're going to have the rest of the world that's in that gross darkness coming up against the men of the Lord, all right, because why? They love darkness rather than light. You know, that was all spirit, because I didn't mean to click on that, but we'll go there because that's where the breakdown is. John 3:19. And this is condemnation. Now, this is talking about the Israelites, the condemnation for them. But this is also applying, really to the Israelites, because the Edomites, like we just read, the wicked ain't going to understand, and they ain't going to be able to come to the light. All right. But nevertheless, you know, in a bigger scheme of pictures, like, yo, you Edomites, you know, y'all could just accept the fact that we right and y'all wrong, and y'all Edomites are going into slavery, but they're not going to go down without a fight, you know, and we don't expect them to. All right, John 3:19. And this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world. All right, but men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds was evil. For everyone that doth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. All right, just like if you stealing and shit, right? You don't want nobody to walk in on you while you stealing, because why? Somebody, you know, got so-called evidence on you. They're going to expose your ass, you know? Or, you know, like if you was a celebrity or whatever, whatnot, somebody tape one of your phone calls or videotape you in the house. You don't want to be exposed because of why? You doing something so-called personal. Oh, yeah, we're going to leak this tape on so-and-so. It's going to embarrass them, right? They don't want this because why? It's cutting them to the core. This here word is sharper than any two-edged sword. All right? Getting back to the scripture in Matthew chapter 24. All right, so at the end of the end times, all right, in the times of his coming, all right, it says, let me go, just get to the point. Verse 8, Matthew 24:8, all of these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because the iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that endureth unto the end, endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then the end shall come. And so we know that this gospel hadn't been preaching to the whole four corners of the earth up until this time, but the YouTube, all right, the men of the Lord is pushing this out, and you know, it's reaching further and further. The more y'all put on the news, and more, you know, nothing you could do against the truth, but only for the truth. Y'all only bringing in more and more to the fold. But at the same time, it says what? Many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. Yet there's many false prophets out there. All right. The truth is only in, not to say in only one place, because there are other groups that do have the 100% truth, but they basically follow under what? Great Millstone. They may not be a part of Great Millstone, but they follow that same doctrine. It's not Great Millstone's doctrine. All right. This is the doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Only Great Millstone, not just to say only Great Millstone, but Great Millstone and a couple other camps only cleave to that doctrine. All right. So this isn't the Great Millstone doctrine. This is the doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. The men of Great Millstone just so happen to cleave to that doctrine of truth. All right. So it says, many prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. All right. But nevertheless, that's the time we in now. Again, you've seen all these other these fake camps, obviously the whole Christian establishment and things like that. But nevertheless, going back up to the top, it says, they should deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you should be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All right. Then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another and hate one another. All right. And so that's what's going on now. You're seeing a lot of people starting to hate us, going back to John 3:19, because of why? We're exposing all their wickedness. You know, right now is a time we're a heightened time of all time wickedness on the planet Earth. Everybody is bathing in their own wickedness and having fun in their own folly. All right. These young girls can't wait to, I don't even know what kind of age they get into, but nevertheless, a lot of these young girls can't wait to, get to a certain age, whatever, whatnot, or when they get to a certain age to start doing like sex tapes and shit like that. Cause now they all got like Snapchat. That's the new shit. Oh, you got Snapchat. The videos get deleted. Well, why would you as a young kid want your videos to be deleted? We know you like showing off and everything like that. So what are you doing that you don't want so-called evidence for? Y'all making all, you doing all this wickedness, but then you tell them about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Of course they're going to go against it because they're young, but they're not even real. They don't really, they don't realize what they're really doing, the damage they're really doing. Same with all this other stuff, going hand in hand with these Edomites, Well, what's wrong with the so-called white man? He always nice to me in my face. Yeah, in your face, but they plotting behind your back on how to murder your ass. It's been like that since you got here. All right. Let me just get to my next precept so we don't make this too long. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. It says, and I saw the thrones. It says, and I saw the thrones, and they that sat upon them, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that was beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. All right. So there was some men that was beheaded for the witness and the testimony of Yahushua. This here testimony that we got. All right. Prophesying in his name. Just like he said, you're going to be hated of all nations for my name's sake. They're going to deliver you up to be killed. All right. And for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. All right. And so, right now we just so-called receiving some demonization, but yet and still it's going to escalate to that time frame and that point to where what? These so-called white people, these Edomites, they're going to come against us and try to put us to death. Even some of our own people going to try to put us to death. They have our own household going to be our enemies. All right. They're going to be the ones that's going to be coming out and delivering us up to the synagogues or the precincts and stuff like that for us to be killed and beheaded and stuff like that. It'll be your mama and your brother and your sister. Nah, y'all ain't finna be doing this. Now I ain't gonna have the news outside of my house calling my son no terrorist. If he a terrorist, he needs some help or some shit. We gonna have to go over here and do such and such. But yet they don't realize, nobody else realizes these people only shitting on us so they can keep getting away with the shit that they got going on. All right. Just like, when you got ignorant people fighting, like, yo, bro, you wrong. You happen to do such and such. You calling somebody out genuinely for the wrong that they did. Like, bro, that was some fucked up shit. You weren't supposed to be stealing that, this, and that. Well, shit, they be stealing all the time too, man. What they did, we ain't talking about what they doing. We talking about what you got caught doing, what you did. You know that shit was wrong. They judgment gonna come down on them. But right now we dealing with you. All right. So our people right now is so-called basking in this wickedness, and they love this wickedness. All right. But when the Lord is coming back to try to put them on their straight paths, they don't want to come up about this here wickedness, all right? But like the scripture say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, all right? The Most High going to bring his judgment no matter what, all right? This is Revelation 14, 1 through 5. It says, let me check my time, all right? It says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having the Father's name written in their foreheads, all right? The elect, which he gave the testimony unto, all right? The ones that's going to be beheaded for this here testimony, all right? And there was also, when you go to Revelation, or not Revelation, Ezekiel 9 and 4, all right, where they get this here mark. That word mark goes into, let me see. Well, here it says the Father's name, but when you go to Ezekiel 9 and 4, it goes into that word mark, which is a different word than the word of charagma, which is an incision, which is the mark of the beast. This word mark is more or less, how do I say, it's a metaphoric mark, all right? It's something that is a desired mark, a mark of exemption. A mark of exemption from judgment. These men are not going to be hurt. All right. Like when you read in Revelation chapter 7, it's talk about the same thing. All right. But to the point here, it says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having the Father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, as the voice of great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the beast and the elders. And no man could learn that song but 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. All right, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. And that's talking about different doctrines. We not over here in the, that Kemet, America, Babylon, and all that extra shit, you know what I'm saying, mixing it with the Bible and so on and so forth. All right. These are they which are not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb wherever he goeth. These are redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and unto the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. So these men, there's no gall in their mouth. There's no real reason for you to hate these men. Just like Yahushua, he was put to death for no real reason, you know, in a carnal sense of man. You know, there was a reason according to the Most High's, how do I say, according to his script, you know what I'm saying? His script and his things, how he was gonna have things played out. All right, that was prophesied from the beginning hand time. But as it was actually playing out, you know what I'm saying, in the so-called carnal sense, man, he was delivered up to be put to death for what? For telling them the truth, basically. All right, but what? Same way in these times, they, you know, they over there making money changes and basically in the temple and stuff like that, fleecing the flock. You know what I'm saying, and just robbing the people. But what? They was mad and wanted to put him to death because that's stopping their money. That's stopping their bag, even though what they doing is wicked. All right. They didn't want to be told, bro, you ain't supposed to be stealing from the Lord's people, especially dressing up as the Lord's men. And, you know, these people sincerely coming to you trying to repent, but yet you just stealing from them. Same thing they doing in these churches today. All right. But with the men of the Lord, there's no gall in our mouth. We're not trying to fleece the flock. We ain't doing nothing for, you know, we're not, every time y'all see us, we're not passing around no collection plate. All right. You know, us comparatively to most of these YouTubers in whatever category that they in, you know, most YouTubers in whatever category that they in, they be like, hey, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this here video to a lot of friends. We're not even doing that. Our videos ain't even monetized, you know. We out here planting the seed. The Most High is watering and calling forth the increase. All right. So we're gonna go from there to I got two more scriptures. We're gonna close out with that. John chapter 8. Verse 42 says, Yahushua said unto them, if the Most High was your father, ye would love me, for I proceed forth and came from the Most High, neither came I of myself, but he sent me. All right. And that's the one thing we can say to all these people. All right. If you really love who you ignorantly call God and who you ignorantly call Jesus, you will believe us, because why? We come in his name. We come in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right. We didn't send ourselves out here with our own doctrine, but we coming forth again. That's why I said it's not the GMS doctrine. GMS don't got no doctrine. GMS is following the doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's just the doctrine that they happen to follow, which is the 100% truth. All right. Because it's not, again, it's not the GMS doctrine. It's the doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right. And there's no God found in their mouth. All right. It's not, again, let me read this. It says, for I proceeded forth and I came from the Most High. All right. So we came from the Most High. All right. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. All right. So this ain't our doctrine or nothing like that. All right. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh lies, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. All right. Now, this is first and foremost speaking to our people. All right. Now, you know, basically going into this, you know, a little deeper. This is more or less like the 2/3. All right. He's talking more or less to the 2/3. They're not going to wind up getting it at all. All right. Not on this side. All right. Their lot is just basically not for them to wake up and not to get it on this side. All right. And when you think about a little deeper on those people, what's wrong with these people? All right. What's the ultimate problem with these people? All right. Besides the fact that the Most High already had it set up that they wasn't going to get it. They the 2/3. But what's carnally wrong with these people? All right. According to the scriptures, they hand is joined in hand with these Edomites. They refuse to leave Babylon, you know, come up out of her, my people. All right. Be not partakers of her sins. This is what's wrong with these people. They want to keep going in the darkness with these damn Edomites and indulging in their damn wickedness. All right. So they are of their damn father, the devil. They not of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right. Because we was in the same damn boats as they was. All right. Worshiping the damn devil and following these Edomites and shit like that. But when we heard that call, we was like, oh, shit. Yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up big time. But you know what? Hey, man. Hey, it's nothing I can do. I mean, I'm really supposed to be put to death, but shit, this is the least that I could do. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody in a life, you know, somebody serving a life sentence. You know, not to go too far off topic, but I believe that dude, Freeway Ricky Ross, if not him, somebody else, was given like a life sentence. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't supposed to get out of jail, but you know what I'm saying? And they had that in their mindset. Now, I believe it was like, well, it was my actions that got me in here, so my actions can get me out. Even though that he had a life sentence, you know, and homeboy is out of jail today. He didn't serve his whole life sentence. He wound up getting a lot of his time, not to say a lot of his time cut down, but basically he was let out of jail. You know, he learned how to read and so on and so forth, you know, using it as an analogy. Like he said, it was our actions that got us into this. All right. You can go to let me read this and I'll go to that real quick. It says verse 46, verse 45, because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of the Most High heareth the Most High's word. Ye therefore hear them not, because you are not of the Most High. All right, and that's why a lot of the people, you know, think they demonize, think we the damn enemies, because wow, they have their father the damn devil. You know, especially our people, because our message is for our people. It's an uplifting message to the basically the downtrodden, the lost sheep. All right, we guiding you back into your fold, but yet you think we your enemy and shit like that. All right, but where's that precept I said I was gonna get? Damn, slipped my mind. But nevertheless, let me just go ahead and grab this last precept, and I can go ahead and close out after that. This is the book of where did I want it? Okay. Galatians 4:16. This is Galatians 4 verse 16. It says, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? All right. That's what's going on with a lot of our people. A lot of our people, all right, how do I say, look at us as their enemy because what? Wow, we telling them the truth, you know? Oh, the so-called white man ain't that bad and this and that, but yet and still, you know what I'm saying? You paying child support right now. All right, not saying you ain't supposed to be supporting your child, but why the so-called white man got to be in between? You could be still giving money to your baby mama and taking care of your child one-on-one without the so-called white man taxing it and taking some of your money. All right, if you ain't got it that week, you ain't got it that week. What if you was sick and off of work for, you know, half the time? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got it that week, but you still love your child. You need to keep a roof over your head and a car in your driveway to get to work, to get money. So-called white man don't care about that, all right? But yet our people still cleave unto him, all right? With this here government shutdown and so on and so forth, you know? People out here still praising the government, this and that, but y'all was just going without food for a while, all right? But nevertheless, you know, I just wanted to go into this here quick little lesson, you know what I'm saying? Basically talking about, you know, the current events, things going on. Have we become your enemy because we tell you the truth, man? There's no guile in our mouth. There's nothing you can really lay claim to us that we did anything wrong, all right? If anything, it's all y'all that's doing all this crazy shit that's making the whole world upside down, all right? But y'all just so far gone, you don't want to take heed and take a warning, all right, to slow down and hit the brakes. You just want to keep going. You to the point of no turning back, you know. So, you know, for the elect and for our people, you know, it's time to come back into this here fold, into this here truth, all right? Look, you know, judge a tree by its fruits, all right? Look at how the rest of the world is living and look at what we telling you, all right? But then again, also look at the things that we telling you and then look at how the world is living and see who's really the good guy and who's really the bad guy, all right? And for our people that's coming up against us, are we really becoming your enemy because we telling you the truth, man? The so-called white man been lying to you since you got over here. Told you was a so-called black man, a colored man, this and that, and everybody was free. July 4th, 1776, you know, we all free, created equal and so on and so forth, but yet you was still a slave until that day, all right? So homeboy been lying to you from day one. But nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, Call halal Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us his truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.